Selamun Aleyküm. Welcome to my show called Women in Action. Today we are joined by Her Excellency Sanji Monageng from Botswana. She is the High Commissioner of Botswana in South Africa. I would like to welcome her today. We would like to get to know her a little bit because, you know, in my show I first started talking to my ambassadors, the ambassadors in South Africa, because I realized people normally don't know that much about what a diplomat does and how our lives are, the challenges we are facing as women ambassadors. So let's listen to my dear friend Sanji, who has been in this country for almost 3 years, and she has an impressive CV, an impressive career in the legal profession especially. So Sanji, welcome. Welcome to my show. Thank you so much for being with me.
Thank you.
And first of all, I want to ask you about your long career, almost 30 years in the legal profession,
Yes.
which went up all the way up to the International Criminal Court,
Yes.
where you served for 9 years, more than 9 years, and you even became vice president of the court.
Yes.
At some point in your career. Now you are the ambassador. How was that shift from the legal profession to diplomacy?
Actually, Aisha, I have not shifted. I'm still very much involved in the law, but of course within permissible limits, because my core work is diplomacy.
Okay.
I still do bits and pieces. And you know, one thing that I realized is that my legal training is actually very indispensable in my office in Pretoria as an ambassador. And this is because I've worked in all sorts of international organizations, regional organizations. So I just found myself being asked to come to South Africa. At first I said, my God, what am I going to do? I've never been a diplomat proper. But here I am. After the almost 3 years, I find that I've fitted into diplomacy like a hand into a glove.
Wow, that's so nice. So soft transition, and your knowledge, your deep knowledge, also not only in The Hague, in the Netherlands,
Yes.
in the ICC, but also in the African Union, the
Yeah.
African Union Commission for Human and People's Rights,
Rights, yeah.
where you served.
Yes.
Also, all that knowledge brought you to today, apparently.
Yeah.
And can you maybe tell me about the defining moments in your career, like the main defining moments that brought you here to South Africa?
To be honest with you, even without you asking, one of the best moments in my life was being appointed a judge of the International Criminal Court. It was difficult. There were 6 vacancies and 20 applicants. From
Which year was it?
This was 2009. And we came from the whole world, literally. We came from countries that are members of the Rome Statute, which establishes the International Criminal Court. So once I got there, when I left the ICC, I said to myself, look, you can do anything. And I think my principal or my principals saw it fit with this, with so much experience. I mean, in smaller countries, everybody knows about you. And for reasons that I can't talk about, I was appointed the ambassador. Initially, I said to myself, what am I going to do? But I knew that I had to hit the ground running. Unfortunately, if you remember, I know that you won't remember, you were one of my mentors. You were one of the women ambassadors that just held me by my hand. You would drag me to your house, you know, so, and many others. So it was much easier for me to settle. But that is the social part, if you like. The reality was a bit different. I thought, because I had worked in places like the ICC, the African Union, I was a diplomat. Little did I know that this one is different. Even the language, the language the diplomats use in the day-to-day discharge of their duties. So my landing here was not that soft, but I quickly assimilated. I quickly became part of the system. And like I say, there were people like you and others who really welcomed me. For some reason, I became a little favorite of everybody. So I was free to ask, I was free to seek guidance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also you being such a humble person in personality also helps. Here's this person who is a judge coming from also multilateral diplomacy, because when you are in The Hague, you don't only do the legal profession on human rights and everything, you also see the whole international community, other diplomats all the time. You did that for 9 years until you left in 2018.
Yeah.
And then coming from a small country, you expanded your horizons so much in terms of knowledge and experience. Diplomacy, when it comes to that, is just one small part of what you did before.
Yeah.
And you came back to your own country, Botswana, and you contributed to your country, your nation, in many different ways.
Yeah.
The government, the state was able to use you and your experience in many different ways. Can you please tell us a little bit about what you did after 2018? You established many courts, as far as I see.
One of the things that really makes me very, very proud is when the Botswana government asked me to establish the Competition and Consumer Tribunal. This is a court, if you like, you know, in its own little corner there. The law changed when I came back. And the new law, the new statute, demanded that a tribunal be established. So I was given a set of keys, and somebody pointed an office up there and said to me, you see that green door? That's where government or the Minister of Trade has said the tribunal will be. So I went up the stairs, opened, I found an empty hall, no chair, nothing, no staff, nothing. But I took it up from there. There was a lot of support, of course, from the ministry, especially for a new entity. And quickly the government also elected commissioners, the people I was going to work with, like a board. And when I left, the tribunal was up and running. And I was also asked to apply for the Gender Commission as a commissioner, which I did, and ultimately they put us together. There were other commissioners, and I became the president of the commission, of the tribunal.
Wow.
No, of the commission rather. So, and as you know, that commission is very, very, very important. It deals with issues of women and children. And of course, for that one, I was very fortunate because our secretariat was made up of very, very knowledgeable women and men. So it made my work quite easy. And we did a lot, but before I settled, when I thought I was settling and I had all sorts of things that I wanted to do, I was then asked to come to South Africa.
Wow.
But then again, even if I was doing them for my own self, I'm a qualified arbitrator, I'm a qualified mediator, and I was doing a lot of arbitration and mediation in the country, including cases against government, against government.
That's very important. I was going to ask you about this. The challenges you have faced, both in your legal profession and as a diplomat, as a woman in diplomacy, and also the role of women in today's ever-changing international relations, the role of women in mediation especially. I believe we need to use more women in negotiations and in mediation. in peacemaking, peace building. Unfortunately, there aren't so many women around the table, unfortunately, where decisions are made. And mediation is one area that women diplomats can contribute more. Can you tell us a little bit more about it? Because I know you are a certified mediator.
Thank you very much, Aisha. You know, women should not be viewed as an addition on a table where mediation or peace negotiations are taking place. People should realize that women bring, first of all, dignity onto that table. They bring integrity. Women look at issues in a broader way. They don't just look at negotiations for political power. They go beyond that. They are there looking at what communities need, what that man, woman, and child need. And this is because they bring lived experiences. They would have gone through it all, even if it's in a home. If the woman has had, the husband or the boyfriend giving them problems, they bring that experience and they build on it. So I agree with you entirely. Countries, the African Union especially, they should now seriously look into bringing in more women to these negotiations. And another thing is that women have that motherly love, that motherly thing that men do not have. And even in my other life, we've always fought for our countries to appoint women to the benches. For instance, when I started the judiciary journey, we had all sorts of problems. We were facing a platform which had no level playing field. Men were regarded, especially culturally, which had spilled into the courts, so they were regarded as the bastion of the law. They were regarded as the best people who know how to do it. We had to fight. And some of the problems we faced were just basic structural, for instance, systematic things. Structural courts were unfriendly to women. But fortunately, in Botswana now, Botswana has progressed so very much. So those were some of the problems. And because I worked in different jurisdictions, by the way, I was a judge in the Republic of the Gambia in West Africa. I was a judge in Eswatini. And of course, at the ICC, you see just how women are treated. But fortunately, in a place like the ICC, there's a formula they use, which states parties should follow when they elect judges. So there's normally a balance. They would give instructions on how many women should be elected. But otherwise, here in the world of diplomacy, like I say, I was not coming from a completely uninformed or ill-informed background. The only problems I had were natural. I had to learn and to learn very quickly. And I must say that I settled very, very quickly. And this is because the women and men here just opened their offices and their hearts towards me.
Very important, yes. And because we are all mothers, I think we have a vested interest in peace, because we are bringing up the future leaders of the countries. You know, we have an interest in peace for our children, maybe more than men sometimes. You know, we think more about bringing up our children in a peaceful environment, and that's where our asset comes in, I think. And that's where also your asset comes in as a certified mediator. I think we need more women like you in that space. And also when we are talking about, of course, we are having this this talk during Women's Month. So you know, what can you say about the struggles women are going through all around the world? Because at the ICC, I think you also dealt with so many problems women were facing as victims of domestic violence, victims of, you know,
exactly.
rape, war, in war situations. Yeah, and also the women in South Africa. What can we do? Because my show is Women in Action.
Yeah.
What can we do more to lift other women, you know, to pay it forward, to
Yeah.
give them back, you know, and to contribute not only to our states, but to our host countries?
Yeah. You know, women, I'll talk about South African women. There is no doubt that the South African government is doing a lot to uplift women. The only problem is that South Africa, like Botswana or any other country, we are developing countries. We do not have the funds or the personnel to implement the laws. I can tell you that the laws are there and they're fantastic. But if I want to talk to the women themselves, may I just say to women, those who are able to, those who have the means, should always make sure that they pull their sisters who are not in a similar situation. There's a lot that can be done. You, for instance, ever since I knew you, you have been doing so much in the society. And I want to encourage you and other women out there who are not part of your little group to do the same. Women have dreams, Aisha. Women have aspirations. And those dreams and aspirations are real. And we should respect those aspirations. The women themselves should respect their own dreams and aspirations. They shouldn't give up. They should know that they are not alone. Where there is a chance, like you have an organization, and where some other woman is coming up with an organization, women should rally behind that organization, identify the real needs, identify the people who need their help. I've seen it all. I've tried criminal activities that shock the conscience of the whole world. Things which, if I described, you will not believe it. But you look at the women from such societies, because once in a while we could go into a country, or the victims themselves, or not victims, let's call them victims, used to come to the court to give evidence. In some cases, we allowed a representative of a group of women who were not complainants, who were not part of the criminal trial, to come and tell us exactly what they witnessed. It is amazing. And when I look at GBV in our countries, at times I just go to bed and I shed a tear. And it is upon us women to continue. It is so difficult. We have found no answers. For instance, I have tried thousands of cases of rape.
Really?
And I will never tell you, I cannot tell you what makes a man rape.
Really? Wow.
Because a man will rape me, an old woman, a man will rape a 4-month-old child. I failed to get into the mind of a rapist.
That's very important to know. Yeah, it's very interesting. When we are dealing with GBV, I think we need to go to the man. And I don't know how to call it. Educate the man, listen to man, and learn about what causes the anger, maybe. You know, the fear behind the anger, let's say. Go to the feelings and try to understand the motivations. As you said, it is difficult. And we have so much work to do. That's why we need to be in the field, in South Africa also, reaching out to those men, to the boys,
Yes.
Yeah, empower the boy child, so the boy child doesn't grow up to be a violent, angry man who doesn't respect the other gender.
Exactly.
So it's very important. There's a lot to talk about, but I think we are nearing the end of the show.
Thank you.
But thank you so much. There's so much to learn
Thank you.
from you
Thank
and
you.
your experience, because you have seen the calamities of humanity. You have seen it so much. You have not lost your faith in humanity.
Yeah.
But today we should also preserve our faith in the resilience and strength of women.
Exactly.
We are the ones who will make,
Exactly.
peace and develop this society, I think.
Exactly. And
That's
and
why we are women in action.
my job right
Yeah,
now
it's your
teaches
job.
me to be resilient.
Yes.
It teaches me to listen, to take my time, and these are some of the attributes that we need when we go back to societies.
Correct.
And the last point, like you are rightly pointing out, it has to start even in the family.
Yes. Very important.
I watch TV, South African TV, and there was a time a boy, I think, was it radio, was saying that I grew up witnessing my father just beating my mother to a pulp.
You see?
That anger.
Yeah.
But he was fighting other kids at school. But then when he grows
Yeah.
bigger,
Yeah.
older,
Yeah.
he carries that mentality
Yeah.
with him.
So how we raise our kids,
Yeah.
we should start there. It's very important.
Exactly.
Yes. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
with us.
Thank you so
And
much.
it was really an honor to get to know you better, even though, I've spent those 3 years with you
Yes.
in the same country.
Yeah.
But a lot of things that I learned also from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Asha. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and hope to see you at the next episode.